Section 1. In the old streets of a small border town in a small country in Southeast Asia, it was the night of New Year's Eve, and the daughter-in-law of the Gao family was lying on the bed crying and cursing. 7 or 8 children in the yard were too frightened to move. They held the fireworks in their hands and did not dare to light them, and they were reluctant to throw them away. They knew that their mother was giving birth to a baby at this time. I hope they can give birth to a younger brother. Otherwise, their mother would still have to live. At this time, the sound of firecrackers was heard everywhere in the old streets, and all kinds of strange fireworks were blooming in the sky. People were immersed in the joy of celebrating the new year. The old man of the Gao family is over 80, and the old lady just turned 80 a few days ago. She has set up dozens of tables of wine, which is quite decent. Their son Gao Jiancheng was the father of the 8 children in the yard, and the husband of the woman who was lying on the bed and yelling at Gao Jiancheng. Gao Jiancheng was an honest man, didn't talk much, and was strong. He opened a large drugstore in the old street, and his business was booming. Although he is now in his early 50s, his ambition to have a son has never stopped. Gao Jiancheng and his family are originally from Sichuan, China, and they are the 4th generation to come to Old Street. Although it was passed down from generation to generation, by his generation, his family had become well-known and wealthy in the local area. It is precisely because of this that the incense of the Gao family must not be ruined in his hands. Otherwise, I will be sorry for my ancestors, I will be sorry for his actions and determination to exercise every day, and I will be sorry for the many baskets of kidney tonifying medicine he took. This time, he was confident that he could give birth to a big fat boy. Not only because he took several baskets of kidney tonifying medicine, but there was another important reason. That is, his mother-in-law has given birth to 8 daughters in a row for him. Even if a blind man tries his luck in beating his wife, he should encounter her. However, luck is not something everyone has. Gao Jiancheng's business has been going smoothly these years, and everyone in the border town of Old Street admires his ability. But in fact, he knew very well that his abilities were firstly due to luck, and secondly, to the blessings of his ancestors. Why do you say that? According to his own words, his family's ancestral graves were well buried. When his grandfather chose a cemetery, he not only paid a lot of money to ask the earth gods to see the land, but also sprinkled a lot of coins into the grave when he buried it. When the soil was completely buried, smoke started to rise. Therefore, when his grandfather passed away, he was buried in a big and deep pit next to his grandfather's grave. After the soil was sealed, the whole family refused to leave and kept waiting for the smoke to come out from the grave. After waiting for half an hour, smoke really started coming out again. From then on, the Gao family became more and more prosperous. It's just that Gao Jiancheng's ancestors didn't help much when it came to giving birth to a son. He knew they couldn't help much, because if they had the ability to have more sons, they wouldn't be able to pass it on from one generation to the next. Therefore, he still has to work hard to give birth to a son. Now it's time to see the results. His wife is lying on their bed, howling like a slaughtering pig, cursing, "Gao Jiancheng, you damn thing, damn you." Daughter-in-law, please don't scold me like that. Today is New Year's Eve. Wang Xiaoyu, Gao Jiancheng's 80-year-old mother, persuaded her daughter-in-law Xia Dajiao while holding her hand. "You goddamn it, you killed me. You killed me?" Xia Dajiao saved Gao Jiancheng, obviously listening to what his mother-in-law Wang Xiuyu said. Section 2. Wang Xiuyu was a little anxious at this time. "My daughter-in-law started having stomach pains after noon. It has been more than half a day now, and there is still no movement between the 2 legs. She couldn't help but spread them open several times, and there was nothing except a black goatee. My son, Gao Jiancheng, went out to call for the midwife at noon. He went back and forth 7 or 8 times, but didn't bring back anyone. Wang Xiaoyu was so angry that he cursed people. He originally wanted to curse harshly, but then he thought about it. Today is New Year's Eve, so he changed his mind and cursed the midwife instead. Everyone in the old street knows the midwife Wang Xiaoyu. The 8 girls in the courtyard were all the ones who delivered babies, but at this juncture today, not one of them was willing to come. Alas, who told Xia Dajiao not to give birth sooner or later? But why would she have a baby on New Year's Eve? Daughter-in-law, please be patient. Your man will call the midwife, and she will be here soon. Wang Xiaoyu's old voice was crisp, and his words were sonorous and powerful. Xia Dajiao raised his head again with difficulty and looked at the door. Ouch! Ouch! It hurts me to death. It hurts me to death. Gao Shabing, where did you die? My daughter-in-law is in such pain. Why don't you go see if your son is back? Wang Xiaoyu called out to Gao Jianqing's father and his wife. Mrs. Gao agreed and walked quickly outside the courtyard gate. When I arrived at the entrance of the courtyard, I opened the door, took half of my legs out, and looked around. There was not a soul in the street. At this time, they all went home to celebrate the New Year and have New Year's dinner. Old Mrs. Gao was a little disappointed, although he was very anxious, worried about his daughter-in-law who had been screaming for a long time. But his old legs were swinging all the time, and he didn't have the strength to walk long distances. After standing for a while, feeling tired, Gao Shabing sat down on the high threshold. The 8 little girls in the yard were all surrounding their mother's door at this time. The older one was trying to squeeze her mother's sweat, while the younger one was shouting cheers for her mother. Xia Dajiao saw the children gathered outside the door, so he didn't have the nerve to shout loudly, so he could only hold it in as best he could. Let's go, let's go, let's go, little girl. You can't look at me, let's go. Wang Xiaoyu said, and got up to blast away. They were usually most afraid of their grandmother Wang Xiaoyu, so they all ran away quickly before she could get up. About half an hour later, Mrs. Gao shouted into the house from the yard, Hey, Jianqing's mother, he hasn't come back yet. I haven't come back. I haven't come back. Why are you telling me? Go out and find your son. How painful is your daughter-in-law? Wang Xiaoyu, the old woman, shouted, her voice loud enough to drown out Xia Dajiao's shouts. The old man, Gao Shabing, did not dare to speak anymore. He muttered something to himself, while walking tremblingly, with his hands behind his back, and within 2 steps he had to lift his slipped hand up again. When he was about to reach the entrance of the courtyard, he saw his son Gao Jianqing coming back, so he shouted into the house with all his strength, My son is back. Has the midwife called? Wang Xiaoyu, an old woman, called loudly from the house. Gao Jianqing originally wanted to reply at the entrance of the hospital, but he was afraid that he would be too strenuous, so he trotted to the top of the courtyard and stopped outside his room door, saying, The midwife refused to come, so she wants to celebrate the New Year at home. New Year's Eve happens every year, and you can live it every year. You only have one life, so it's so difficult for them to save one person. Normally, everyone is like a living bodhisattva. This is 2 lives, and everyone has been in pain for a day. The old woman Wang Xiaoyu complained loudly, just like an old resentful woman in the countryside. No, she is an old resentful woman in the city. Come here, come and watch your wife. I'll go and see if they want to come. Wang Xiaoyu said, and stuck his head out the door. Gao Jianqing had never been in a delivery room, and he had never seen a woman give birth, so he was very nervous, flushed, and at a loss. Silly son, come here. Mom, I'll come? No, it's not good, okay? Gao Jianqing usually didn't stutter at all when he spoke, but today he seemed to be tongue-tied when he spoke. If I want you to come, you can come. I just want you to look after your wife, but I don't want you to help your wife deliver the baby. What are you afraid of? You have never seen anything about her, and she has no future. Wang Xiaoyu, the old lady Gao, said a little anxiously. She, who had always been heartbroken about her son, also lost her temper at this time. Gao Jianqing was so violently manipulated by his mother that he didn't dare to reply, so he had no choice but to walk back into the house. Section 3. When Gao Jianqing entered the room, Wang Xiaoyu, the old lady Gao, pulled him to her daughter-in-law's bedside, then put her daughter-in-law's hand into her son's and said, Watch your mother-in-law carefully. I'll go fetch the midwives and see if they come. Mom, walk slowly. The road is dark at night. Gao Jianqing reminded. I understand. Take care of your wife. Don't worry about me. After saying this, the old lady Wang Xiuyu put on a big cotton coat and went out. Although Wang Xiaoyu is now 80 years old, he is in very good health. His waist is not bent, his legs and feet are not sore, and he can usually eat 2 large bowls at one meal. Although her face is covered with wrinkles now, when she was young, she was a famous beauty in the old street. At that time, Wang Xiaoyu's family was extremely poor. There were 5 or 6 brothers and sisters, and they only had 3 or 4 clothes together. When they were going out, 2 people would always stay at home, and the next time, the other 2 would stay at home. As we grew up, the family worked hard to give everyone a complete set of clothes. By the time Wang Xiuyu was 15 or 16 years old, she had become a beautiful woman. She was dating one after another, destroying several doors in their home. But she doesn't like any of them, saying that all these people just fancy her good looks. Let me ask, who doesn't like to look good? Wang Xiuyu also likes good-looking ones. The reason why she didn't like them is because they are not good-looking. And at that time, Comrade Gao Xiaobing, the old man of the Gao family, although not as good as the current Cioxianru, he was still a talented man with a dignified appearance. In addition, his family had a lot of money at that time. The old man of the Gao family walked around the streets carrying baskets and ladles, and he could sell 2 baskets of Chinese herbal medicines in half a day, which was a lot of money. Therefore, when the old man of the Wang family learned that the Gao family had an unmarried young master, he was very happy. One day, when the old man of the Gao family walked past the door carrying a basket, he stopped him. Old Mrs. Gao asked, "Master Wang, do you want to buy something?" The old man of the Wang family chuckled and shook his head. "Brother, I have a disease now. I wonder if you have any suitable medicine?" Old man Gao asked, "Old man, what is your illness? Can you tell me?" The old man of the Wang family took a puff of dry cigarette and said, "I have an eldest girl in my family. She is 16 years old this year, and she hasn't decided to go out yet." Old Mrs. Gao chuckled. 16 years old? Not too old. Old man, to tell you the truth, I also have a young man in my family who is also an older man. Wang Xiuyu's old father struck while the iron was hot and asked with a smile, "Brother, how old is your young master this year?" "I'm 18 this year." 18, that's great. The old man of the Wang family was very happy in his heart. The boss is not young anymore, and he hasn't even dated his mother-in-law yet, Mr. Gao said, looking a little embarrassed. When the old man of the Wang family heard what Mr. Gao said, he was secretly happy and said to himself softly, "I didn't say that my wife is good. I didn't say that my wife is good." He didn't want the old lady of the Gao family to hear this soliloquy. "Hey, old man, what's going on with you? My son didn't marry a wife. You seem to be very happy." "Hey, no. Don't get me wrong, brother. I mean, it's a good thing that your young master didn't marry a wife," the old man of the Wang family said, and tapped the dry tobacco pot on his heel. Old man Gao was a little unhappy and said with a straight face, "Old man, tell me, what's a good thing that my son didn't marry a wife?" "Brother, don't misunderstand me, and don't be angry. Come on, come and sit in the house." As the old man of the Wang family said, he stretched out his hands to invite Mrs. Gao. Old Mrs. Gao put down the basket and followed Mr. Wang into the house. "Come on, brother, please take a seat." As he said this, he brought a small long stool with only 3 legs to old Mrs. Gao. Old man Gao took the dingzy and saw a broken leg at a glance and asked, "Old man, why is there a missing leg? You don't catch it, don't you fall?" Section 4. The old man of the Wang family smiled awkwardly and said, I always throw people." "Wrestling? Why don't you catch it?" Old man Gao asked curiously. "Oh, brother, to tell you the truth, with the conditions of my house, I don't even have any extra firewood for the fire. There is no wood to connect the legs of the stool. Then we have to find a way. We might break someone if we do this." As he said this, old man Gao carefully flattened the bed and sat on it gently with his buttocks, trying to keep his center of gravity in the direction of the 3 legs. Then he said, "Old man, what kind of medicine are you selling in this gourd? Call me into the house." Old man Wang didn't answer, just smiled, and then shouted to the back room, Xiu Yu, bring me a bowl of water for shopkeeper Gao. I heard a loud reply from the back room. I know, I'm here. Then a beautiful girl of 15 or 16 years old came out, quickly took the bowl, scooped water, and carried the water. Uncle Gao, please drink a bowl of water. Old man Gao liked the little girl in front of him very much, so he happily took the bowl and drank all the water in one gulp. Old man, is this your baby girl? Yes, what a treasure. It's just a loser. I've had it in my hands for 16 years, and it's almost broken, the old man of the Wang family said, and looked at his daughter Wang Xiuyu. Wang Xiuyu was very unhappy, blowing his beard and glaring at the old man of the Wang family. Sorry, I've been listening to you all day long. After saying that, he returned to the room without looking back. Old Mrs. Gao smiled with satisfaction. Old man, your daughter has a bit of a personality. She has a bad temper and is almost turning into an old girl. When he said this, he looked at the back of his daughter Wang Xiuyu with a proud yet disappointed look. When Wang Xiuyu heard what the old man said, he turned his head angrily, snorted heavily, and then closed the door with a creak. Hey, old man, why don't you ask your girl and my boy to meet and see if they have such a fate? Old Mrs. Gao asked the old man of the Wang family in a low voice. Brother, I think it's okay. I mean the same thing, but I'm just afraid that my old girl's temper won't scare your son. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of such a temper. Then let them meet someday. Okay, let's meet. The old man of the Wang family said. What day? Brother, do you think this will work? If you call your son here one day, I will tell you that he is the carpenter who comes to repair the stool under your butt. I will ask her and your son to receive the reception. If they both like it, you can make arrangements. What do you think? Said the old man of the Wang family slyly. Old man, I think it will work. Tomorrow I will ask him to come and repair the three-legged stool under my butt for you. Old Mrs. Gao said, and pointed to the small square stool sitting under my butt. Okay, brother, I'll do as you say. Okay, I'll call my son here tomorrow morning. With that said, old man Gao got up and continued to sell his 2 baskets of Chinese herbal medicine. Tomorrow, Gao Xiaobing will follow his father's instructions early in the morning and rush to Wang's house with tools and square wooden bars. When they arrived at the door, the old man of the Wang family was already sitting under the eaves, smoking a dry cigarette. Are you Uncle Wang? Gao Xiaobing asked politely. Hey, that's right. Are you Xiao Gao? The old man of the Wang family asked with a smile, and then quickly stood up. Yes, I am Gao Xiaobing. Are you here to repair the stool? Old man Wang asked, deliberately pretending to be stupid. Yes. Okay, wait a minute. I'll ask Wang Xiuyu to take out the stool. After saying that, he walked to the door and shouted into the room. Xiuyu. Section 5. Wang Xiuyu heard her father calling her and shouted back, Why are you calling me? Come here. The little carpenter is here to repair the stool. Quickly bring the small 3-legged stool. The old man of the Wang family said with a smile. Seeing what old man Wang said, Gao Xiaobing became a little anxious. He quickly leaned into his ear and whispered, Uncle Wang, I am not a carpenter. My grandpa is a carpenter. Old man Wang smiled slightly, looked at the door of his daughter Wang Xiuyu's room with his old eyes, and shouted again, Xiuyu. I got it. Don't keep doing it. After saying that, Wang Xiuyu came out of the room. When he got to the main room, he carried the small 3-legged stool out. In a few steps, he arrived outside the door of the main room. Is he the little carpenter? Wang Xiuyu was almost stunned. In her opinion, the young boy in front of her was fair and handsome, so how could he be a little carpenter? I'm not a carpenter, Gao Xiaobing said seriously, and he was also shocked. Although Wang Xiuyu is plainly dressed, he is so beautiful that he is crying like a ghost. If you're not a carpenter, why do you still repair wooden stools? Wang Xiuyu asked softly. My dad asked me to come. My grandpa is an old carpenter. Hey, aren't you still a little carpenter? Wang Xiaoyu said and handed the stool to Gao Xiaobing. Gao Xiaobing then climbed up and muttered, I told you I wasn't a carpenter, but you said I was a carpenter. The old man of the Wang family felt that the two people in front of him were having fun, so he laughed and said happily, Xiao Gao, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he is a little carpenter or not. If he can repair stools, he is a good son-in-law. As soon as these words came out, Wang Xiaoyu and Gao Xiaobing were stunned, and old man Wang immediately realized his gaffe and walked away with an embarrassed smile. Wang Xiaoyu was a little angry and a little shy. Hey, old man Wang, what are you talking about? Yes, why do you say that? Gao Xiaobing blushed and said softly, embarrassed, and secretly glanced at Wang Xiaoyu. Hey, are you really not a carpenter? I'm not a carpenter. My grandpa is a carpenter. Then how do you know carpentry? Is it genetic? Wang Xiaoyu asked with a smile. Gao Xiaobing felt a little embarrassed, so he scratched the back of his head with his hand and said with a blush, Heredity? What heredity? Carpenter, didn't you say you weren't a carpenter? Did you say your grandpa was a carpenter? Oh, yes, yes. He is an old carpenter. Gao Xiaobing said a little proudly, so he felt less depressed and suddenly felt much more relaxed. Are you a little carpenter? A little carpenter? Wang Xiaoyu asked in a low voice. I've already told you that I'm not a carpenter, yet you still call me a little carpenter. You're not a little carpenter. So what's your name? Are you called a little carpenter? Wang Xiaoyu said with a smile. When Gao Xiaobing heard what Wang Xiaoyu said, he was funny and angry, so he was a little impatient. Hey, did you mean to scold me? My name is not a little carpenter, and I am not a little carpenter. Then what are you? I sell Chinese herbal medicine, not a carpenter or a carpenter. Gao Xiaobing repeatedly emphasized that he was not a carpenter, but a medicine seller. It was obvious that he did not like the profession of carpenter. Oh, it turns out you are selling fake medicine. You are not a carpenter. I sell real medicine, not fake medicine. Don't talk nonsense. Gao Xiaobing said, turning over the small stool with only 3 steps and placing it on the ground. Wang Xiaoyu wanted to laugh, but couldn't bear it, so he held it in. So, you're the little medicine boy? I'm not a drug boy. Then what are you? Are you a little carpenter or a little medicine boy? Hey, why are you like this? I've already told you that I'm not a little medicine boy or a little carpenter, but you still keep talking. Gao Xiaobing usually doesn't talk to strange girls. This is the first time he has said so much, and it is 2 people alone talking face to face. And she was talking to one of the most beautiful women in the area. He was agitated. His face was red, and his neck was thick, and he was still out of breath. Wang Xiaoyu saw that Gao Xiaobing was a little angry, so he restrained himself. If it's not, then it's not. I see how anxious you are. What's your name then? Section 6. I didn't scream. Gao Xiaobing looked helpless. I know. I was asking what your name is. Wang Xiaoyu asked. I didn't scream. You saw it. I didn't scream. Hey, I know you didn't scream. I mean, what's your name? Wang Xiaoyu wanted to laugh, but couldn't. She didn't know what their problem was now. Obviously, she wanted to ask him what his name was, but Gao Xiaobing thought she was blaming him for his name. Gao Xiaobing didn't know whether to speak, so he just looked at Wang Xiaoyu with confusion, trying to find the answer from her face and eyes. But clearly there are no answers in these places. So he lowered his head and looked at the small 3-legged stool that had been turned over and placed on the ground. Hey, I'm asking you, what's your name? Wang Xiaoyu was the first to break the silence and embarrassment. Oh, you didn't tell me earlier. I thought you were going to scold me. Gao Xiaobing raised his head happily as he spoke, with a smile on his face and the corners of his mouth raised several times. My name is Gao Xiaobing. Gao means happy Gao. Xiao means Xiaoyu Xiao. Bing is? Bing is? Bing is. When Wang Xiaoyu heard Gao Xiaobing say that Xiaoyu is Xiaoyu's child, his heart burst into hundreds of flowers, which by. Gao Xiaobing was so nervous that he couldn't remember which soldier came. In fact, he knew it. Besides, his family's conditions did not allow him to study more. He knew a lot of characters. He was not the kind of person who knows a lot of big characters and a few small characters, as people often say. He just didn't remember it at the moment. So, Wang Xiaoyu asked again which bai it was. He couldn't even remember it anymore. Are they the kind of soldiers who walk up and down the street carrying guns? Wang Xiaoyu asked. Oh, yes, that's the soldier. That's the soldier. Gao Xiaobing was so happy that he finally introduced his name completely. Then I thought about it. She knew my name, but I still didn't know her name. Thanks to my father, I never taught him to do losing business. So he secretly glanced at Wang Xiaoyu again. Seeing that she didn't realize that he was peeking at her, he felt relieved and became a little more courageous. Besides, she still had a smile on her face, so he asked, "What's your name?" Wang Xiaoyu knew that Gao Xiaobing was asking her name, but at this moment she planned to tease him again, so she said sincerely, "I didn't call you." "I already told you my name. What's your name?" Gao Xiaobing asked again. I didn't scream. He pretended to be innocent when he said it, and opened his hands gently. "What's your name?" Gao Xiaobing was helpless, with an expression of despair. Wang Xiaoyu couldn't help it when he saw him like that, so he laughed loudly. "I'm teasing you. Do you think I really don't know what your name is? I'm just imitating you. Now you know how stupid you are, right?" Gao Xiaobing smiled awkwardly, scratched the back of his head with his hand, and his face turned red again. "What's wrong? Sorry? Your face is red? Are you embarrassed?" "No, it's nothing. I'm a carpenter. What should I be afraid of?" "Didn't you say you're not a carpenter?" Wang Xiaoyu asked, tilting his head and looking at Gao Xiaobing's lowered eyes. "Yes, I'm not a carpenter. I'm a medicine boy." "Are you really a medicine boy?" Wang Xiaoyu asked, his mouth almost touching Gao Xiaobing's ear. She was probably afraid that the words would not reach his heart as quickly as possible, so she chose the shortest distance. "Yes, I am a carpenter, not a medicine boy," Gao Xiaobing said, and looked away. After half a second, he suddenly realized that he had said the wrong thing. He suddenly turned his head back and stared directly at Wang Xiaoyu. No, I am a medicine seller. I am not a carpenter or a medicine boy." Section 7. Wang Xiaoyu found Gao Xiaobing very cute and ridiculously handsome, so he felt very fond of him. So I smiled at him and said, "Hey, let me tell you, my name is Wang Xiaoyu." "That fish swimming in the river?" Gao Xiaobing asked. "If it's not that fish, what kind of fish could it be? Remember my name and don't forget it when we meet next time," Wang Xiaoyu said with certainty, as if she was already looking forward to the next meeting. "Okay, I won't forget it." "Okay, then hurry up and fix the stool. We've been talking for a long time. I'm going to buy some food. You can't run away before I come back," Wang Xiaoyu said, looking at Gao Xiaobing with tender eyes. Gao Xiaobing smiled sheepishly and said nothing. "Hey, did you hear that?" "Okay, I heard you." "Then you do your work quickly. I'm leaving." After saying that, he jumped away. Half an hour later, the small three-legged stool was perfectly repaired by Gao Xiaobing, and now it has a brand new leg. Gao Xiaobing wanted to test its stability, so he casually placed it on the uneven ground. "Hey, it's really good. It's another good bench. Let me sit and take a look." Thinking like this, Gao Xiaobing sat on it, and then deliberately shook his body back and forth, very smoothly. Gao Xiaobing was very satisfied. He was in an extremely good mood now. What he was sure of was that he had never been in such a happy mood since he was born. No, it's not as simple as pleasure. This is a feeling that you have never had before. It feels like a fire suddenly falls in front of you on a cold day, filling you with warmth from your toes to your hair. Moreover, the fire still wafts out fragrance from time to time, and from time to time there are 1 or 2 surprises and 1 or 2 discomforts. No, it doesn't feel like a fire today. What does that look like? Wang Xiaoyu has a hot personality, dares to love and hate, lively and cute, and at this moment, her figure is all in his heart. Her smile, her naughtiness, her anger, and her loud voice. Why are they all so cute right now? This feels so interesting. Can I marry her? Will she be willing to talk to me every day, even if it means quarreling or being scolded by her? Isn't she already married to someone else? What should I do? Should I find someone to propose marriage to? Hey, will Wang Xiaoyu hit someone? Will it not hurt at all if she hit someone? But judging from how strong she is, a punch would hurt, right? Thinking this way, Gao Xiaobing shook his head. Oh, let's forget it, he said to himself. Hey, what are you talking to yourself about? Wang Xiaoyu stood behind Gao Xiaobing with 2 large bags of food in his hands. Gao Xiaobing was startled, turned his head, covered his chest, and said, Oh, you really scared me. Why are you so timid? Has the stool been repaired? Yes, it's fixed. It's pretty stable, Gao Xiaobing said, and shook his body back and forth. Come on, let me try. He put the things in his hands on the ground and pushed the soldier up with both hands. Gao Xiaobing quickly stood up and stood aside, laughing. You try it. Wang Xiaoyu sat down hard on the small stool and shook it hard in all 4 directions. It was indeed very stable. You are really good, Gao Xiaobing. Is it stable? Gao Xiaobing asked confidently. Steady, steady, steady. While saying that, she rocked her big butt back and forth, left and right. Come on,